If you're on LCWRA, PIP, LCW or ESA, we all know that there are big changes ahead. So let's dive into it. I'm going to help break it down for you, and I'm going to give you some pointers on what you could possibly do if you're in any of these work groups or in receipt of any of these benefits and you're worried about these changes. And if you're new, hi, I am the founder of Justice Journals. I created this after I single-handedly sued the Department of Work and Pensions as a former disabled employee, and I won in the employment tribunals for disability discrimination, unlawful harassment, and failure to make reasonable adjustments for a disabled person in their own department. Now let's break down some of these new propositions. Now, I will say that this still needs to be completely passed in Parliament. There is a lot of opposition, but DWP, being DWP, tend to move things along in their own little way. Now, the big issue currently affecting anybody with a health condition which they consider to be a disability, which is currently giving them entitlement to paid benefits such as PIP, LCWRA, or ESA, are these things here, and these are the descriptors. Now I'm going to start breaking this stuff down for you. If there's anything you don't get or you want me to go over again, pop it in the comments, and make sure you like, follow, share and support this channel, because trust me when I say blood, sweat and tears went into representing myself in court. I can tell you I am very passionate about disability rights, and more importantly, right now, disability reform. Now, before I start breaking down some of the jargon, the DWP language, and get down to it in basic common sense English for us all to understand, I want to show you what the government, or what DWP published over a year ago. And if you're following me over on TikTok, you know that red flags I was raising when I saw this. So this was way before these disability reforms came out. Here is a table taken from their own published information, which clearly says number of claimants affected by work capability assessment reform in Great Britain, and they are intending to move claimants through the different work groups, and those work groups are governed by Labour regime. We'll go into that on another TikTok, but all we need to know right here is that the government intends to move people, 85,000 of you, from LCWRA into the LCW work group. Some of you might be thinking, well, what's the big deal, Ali? And lots of you will know, well, that's because you're going to be kissing goodbye to your LCWRA payment. We're going to go into it, so stay with me. So here's the amounts from 2025 to 2026, and here's some more. As we can see, 85,000 to 204,000 to 309 to nearly 500,000 in 2028, 2029. And they're going to be doing that by removing the LCWRA mobilising descriptor. And obviously, we have this little title here. So what does this all mean in common sense? And what does it all mean for you guys? And how much money are you going to have left in your pocket after they have done all of this? I guess is what you want to know. Well, the first biggie is this. It's that in order to become entitled or remain eligible for LCWRA, they are saying you need to score 4 points on one daily activity for PIP. And I know lots of you guys and girls have not been getting this right because you've been putting it in my comments. So let me break it down. This here, as you know, is the PIP point score currently for daily activities. Now, what DWP are saying is that in order to remain eligible, and if you haven't yet claimed it, become eligible for LCWRA to have that tag, which is ultimately going to give you some financial aid through a disability benefit, you need to score 4 points from one of these descriptors. Now, if you don't know what descriptors are, it's all of these things that we see here. So what you've got, 1, preparing food. Underneath preparing food, you've got A, B, C, D, E, and F. And after that, you've got a line of text. You and I would call it a sentence, right? DWP language, they call it a descriptor. Those descriptors hold points. As you can see at the end, it's got 0 points, or 2 points, or 4 points, or 8 points. Now, I know lots of you guys have gone, oh, all right, well, I need to use an appliance to cook food. So there you go. I've got 2 points there, right? 2. And then you've gone, excuse the writing. Then you've gone, oh, I need to set my alarm because I'm rubbish for taking my meals. I forget sometimes if I'm stressed or I'm on meds or whatever. And I've got another 2 points there. So look, there we go. 2 and 2. There's my 4 points. I am golden. But no, guys, unfortunately, that is not what they are saying. They are saying you need to score 4 points from one of these descriptors, i.e. sentences. So in this particular example, there's 4 points there if you need supervision or assistance to prepare or cook a simple meal, or you would qualify it if you cannot prepare and cook food at all. Now, I want to point out this is only one section in the daily activities. There are, in fact, 10. And if you want help, support, advice, you need someone to maybe help you with your manual reconsiderations or anything like that, make sure you're registered over on the Justice Journals, because we have a growing team of people that are helping to advocate and change things up for people by helping them express themselves in perhaps ways they might not be able to in tribunals and a court of law, just to mention a few. Now, if you get those 4 points, and I might add, those 4 points are in addition to the current criteria, which of course could change. They are saying if you get those extra 4 points, you won't get LCWRA because they're getting rid of LCWRA, they're getting rid of WCA, and they're replacing it with this new element. Sorry guys, I had a massive coughing fit, called Universal Credit Health. Where do they think these names up from? I do not know. So you won't be getting that little extra payment called LCWRA. It's called Universal Credit Health. Now, the big issue here is that this payment is currently, or set to be, half of what people are currently getting for LCWRA. Yes, sir. Let me show you. So if you're currently on LCWRA, you get £416.19, right? Let's call it 420. If you are also getting the housing element, right? And if you're not getting the housing element on your universal credit statement, you're just going to get you're going to get 600 or about 620. But what they are saying is from November 2026, that amount of money for LCWRA is going to be almost half. Yeah, half. And that is clearly detailed here in the government's own documentation. For new claims, the rate of the universal credit health element, which is here, which is what the new LCWRA is going to be, will be reduced by £47 a week. Now, I'm just going to go in my calculator. Currently, you guys are getting £104 a week. So it's going to be reduced by £47, which means you're going to get £57 a week. Let's multiply that by 4 as 228 quid. So instead of getting 416.19, you're going to be getting £228. Now, Rachel Reeves has said, don't worry, because we're going to raise universal credit. Let's have a look at how much that's going to be raised by. And you tell me if it's going to really level up to the difference. Here we go. We will increase the universal credit standard allowance for new and existing claims. This would mean the single person 25 years plus would have their universal credit increased by £7 a week. 7. So no, I don't think that's quite going to level up and fill the gap. Now, it's unclear at this point whether or not they're going to allow people an extra premium on top of the new point system that they're going to introduce or not. I don't know. But as we can clearly see here, people who do have a health condition that is then considered a disability because it is affecting them so much so that it is affecting them adversely and they cannot work, or they've got big limitations with work, it looks like they're going to be cutting the benefit that people are currently getting, as well as changing the entitlement or the eligibility criteria in order to get it. Let me know, guys, what you think of all of this. If you have any questions, pop it in the comments. I'm going to leave thejusticejournals.com. I love saying that because we can never say it on TikTok. Link down below. And bear with us because we're working on a few things behind the scenes on the website as well. And we're going to be bringing you guys some very good joy very soon. So keep following, keep sharing. Let's keep sharing the message and getting this information out so that people who are disabled and have health conditions know what their entitlements are and know what the law is for them as well. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and see you in the next one.